Hey everyone, this is me, a quick video repurposing this broken katana. Before we get to this, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I got this broken katana along with a broken dowel blade from Matthew Jensen. So I'm going to be taking this katana and turning it into a Wakizashi. As you can see, the blade is broken. However, this does have other issues, such as number one, the tsuba, which is the handguard, is very loose. Also, if you listen, the ska, which is the handle, is wobbling all over the place. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the handle along with the tsuba and the seppa. Next, I'm going to remove the habaki, which is the blade collar. This one here is being a little bit stubborn, so I'm going to get this one off of the blade off camera real quick. And there we go, the habaki is off. From here, what I'm going to do is reshape the point. To do that, I'm going to use a technique referred to as satsuma-age. Satsuma-age is a technique that was used on broken swords in feudal Japan, as well as swords that had very deep nicks. What you do is you actually grind away from the spine to create a new point. The reason why that is done is because traditionally Japanese swords are differentially hardened. So in a case like this, if the blade were ground up to meet the spine, that would mean that this would have a soft point. However, grinding it the other way, such as I have drawn on this side, means that the point is going to have hardened steel.
Осторожно, двери закрываются. Следующая станция – Лубянка.
There's something about the train station. It was a trip I will never forget. Going round.
And there we go, the new point is now ground on. You probably couldn't tell by the video, but I kept dunking this in water constantly to make sure that the point stayed cool, because this is heat-treated steel, of course, and I didn't want to ruin the heat treat in the blade. So now from here, I'm going to shorten the tang down.
Falling in love again, again, again. Falling in love. She was far away, many miles away.
And there we go, the tang is now shortened. Also, you'll notice I went with a rounded shape for the end of the tang. That's because I prefer that over the points that are more typical. I just think this looks nicer. From here, I'm going to start carving the handle. To make the handle, I'm going to use poplar. Poplar is one of the best choices that we have in America to make handles for Japanese swords.
Search for you into the dark. So in the end, I had fallen in love again, again, again. Falling in love again, again, again. Falling in love. She was far away, many miles away. She was far away, many miles away, 2,000 miles away.
The glue on the handle core is now dry. I will now take the tang out of the handle core, and then I will start shaping on this handle core.
Again, again,
And there we go. Here's how far I am on this handle core. The inside is carved to fit the tang precisely. And as you can see, the fuchi, which is the handle collar, and the kashra, which is the end cap on the handle, are both fitted. This fuchi fits very tightly, which is how I like them to fit. As you can see, that didn't just easily come off, and when putting it back on, it actually requires pressing on. As you can see, this will not just fall off. So that is a good fit. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish drilling the holes right here for the Mikugi pins, and I will taper them. Then from there, I'm going to start recessing this handle core for the wrap of ray skin. So I have the Mikugi pins drilled and tapered, just as I mentioned. And I'm going to recess the core for the full ray skin wrap. But I decided before that I want to shorten this handle down a little bit. You'll notice that right now, this is a 9-inch handle with a 16-inch blade. And I think that that handle is just a little bit too long. If this were a longer bladed Wakizashi that almost doubled as a short katana, then that kind of handle length would make sense. But with a 16-inch blade, this kind of handle length doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I'm going to cut it down. Also, as you could see, I straightened out the tsuba, which is the guard. The tsuba was a little bit bent, but that's straightened out now. So now I'm going to shorten this handle down, and then I will begin recessing this for the ray skin. The handle is now recessed for the ray skin wrap. So I'm going to apply the ray skin wrap. And then from there, I'm going to have to wait 2 weeks for it to dry. So once that's done, we will continue from there. Okay, the ray skin is now dry. I decided to use one of my remnant hides. This one here does not have emperor nodes. However, it's still a very nice piece of ray skin. It just doesn't have the emperor nodes, and personally, that doesn't bother me. So anyways, now I have to remove the excess. As you can see where the black is, I have to remove that. And there's still quite a bit of ray skin on the back because I want to put the seam on the aura side. The aura side is the inside. It's the side that faces the wearer. And on antiques, this is very common to have the seam on the back because it proves that it is a full wrap. Okay, the ray skin is now trimmed and the seam meets together very nicely. So now from here, I'm going to glue this wrap on, and then I'm going to let it sit for a day or two to dry. The satsuma-age is now applied, and as you can see, I wrapped it from top to bottom in rubber bands to hold the satsuma-age to the tsuka. So once this is dry, we will continue from there. While that glue is drying, I'm going to dye the sagyo. This sagyo was a long katana sagyo, and I cut it in half. The one half I dyed purple some time ago. This one I'm going to dye orange because the white spots will take on the orange and the black will stay black. This is a black and white houndstooth pattern Sagio from Japan. I'm done dyeing the Sagio, and I'm really happy with the way that this came out. So I'm now going to drill the holes through the Samegawa for the Mikugi pins, and then I'm going to lacquer the Samegawa.
Que me amabas, si yo te entregué mi alma, me marchita la conciencia si no huelo tu fragancia. Y es que solo me contengo, mi pasión la llevo dentro. Ver tus curvas enloquece y así mi amiguito crece. Carnecita, buen bocado, mucho tiempo esperando. Y ahora que llegaste, es la hora de arriesgarse. Vamos a bailar los dos en nuestro amor. Yeah. Tengo que danzar por ti, tú por mí, sabrosito.
So there we go, the Mikugi pins are now made, and I touched up the ray skin. So from here, I'm going to give that a couple more days to dry before I wrap it. And from there, I'm going to turn my attention to the saya. As you can see, this saya is now way too long for this blade, being that this is a Wakizashi. So I'm going to take the Sagio off, I'm going to cut the saya down, and I'm going to put a Kojiri on the saya. I'm going to shorten the saya down to about where the blue lines are. As you can see, that'll be enough. I would keep the current saya finish, but this saya has been pretty beat up, as you can see. So first thing I'm going to do is strip this saya down, cut the saya down, and I will still leave the saya a little bit rough because I'm going to need to shape the new Kojiri.
Oh, diosa del glamour. Oye, póstrate ante mí. Tú eres mi festín, my love.
And there we go, the saya is now cut. So I'm now going to put a Kojiri on here. So what I'm going to be using in place of horn is just a good piece of hardwood.
Vamos a bailar los dos en nuestro amor. Yeah. Tengo que danzar por ti, tú por mí, sabrosito.
The epoxy is dry, so I will now begin the shaping on this Kojiri. And I decided I'm going to make a larger kurigata and install that on here. Here's the kurigata that this saya came with. It is a small wooden kurigata. I prefer a bigger kurigata anyways, but with these small wooden kurigata, I've actually had these break before. So I'm going to replace that with a larger wooden kurigata.
Oye, póstrate ante mí. Tú eres mi festín, my love.
The epoxy for the Kurigata is now dry, and I've started to sand the saya. From here, I'm going to finish sanding it, and then I am going to do the finish on this saya. And there we go, this wakizashi is now done. For the skamaki, I wrapped this in a high-class shonaizuka with twists instead of the pinches. For the mukugi, I used black delrin because I just like the way that the black delrin goes with the black ito and the orange samegawa. And that's it for the work on this wakizashi. Now the nagasa, which is the blade length from the point to the end of the spine, is 16 1/4 inches long. And the tsuka, which is the handle, is 7.5 inches long. The weight on this sword is 1 pound 14.5 ounces. And the point of balance is 2 inches from the tsuba, which is the guard. I've already cut with this blade, and it goes through single mats no problem. So that's it for today. If you have a sword you'd like to have some work done on, you can find out how to contact me at studentwarcustoms.com. The link will be in the description. The music in this video is made by my friend Lo Belver. The link to his channel will also be in the description, along with the timestamps of the songs used. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next video.